Thanks for joining us for our college visit series. We're very excited to have the University of Tennessee here with us, and their representative, Amanda Wolk, is here to join us to share all about their wonderful programs and tell us more about their fantastic university. So I'm going to hand this over to her to get started. Thanks for joining us.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Amanda Wolk. Like she said, I'm a regional admissions counselor for the University of Tennessee. So I'm based in Virginia, and I just work with students from the state of Virginia to kind of help you through the application process, answer any questions you may have. So if at any point you have any questions or need anything, please feel free to let me know. I'm going to drop a link in the chat where you can register for our mailing list and also kind of give you credit for attending today. So make sure to fill that out if you have a chance. So first, I will start off by telling you a little bit about our location. We are located in Knoxville, Tennessee. Our campus is right in the middle of downtown Knoxville, which is one of my favorite things about our campus because it's very enclosed within the city. So when you're on campus, it kind of feels like a small college town, but then you step off campus and you're right in the middle of downtown, where there's always fun things going on. We're home to lots of different festivals. We have over 90 restaurants within walking distance of campus. And it's also great for students who want to do co-ops and internships because we are right in the city. So there's always lots of companies that are looking to hire our students. You can kind of tell by this picture that the campus is right there in the foreground, and then literally right in the background is downtown. So I love our location right in downtown Knoxville. Another fun thing about our campus is our front yard is the Tennessee River. Because of our location on the river, we're one of the only places in the country where you can sailgate instead of tailgate. So that's always a fun fact for students, that you can tailgate on the water and then go into the football stadium, which, fun fact, we are one of the top 5 largest football stadiums in the nation. Our backyard is the Great Smoky Mountains. About an hour away from campus is the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which is the most visited national park in the country. There are over 900 miles of hiking trails in and around Knoxville. So whether you like to do city things or enjoy the great outdoors, there's kind of something for everybody in Knoxville. We are located about 6 to 6.5 hours from Richmond. So I think it's a great location because we're far enough away from home where you're going to get a completely different experience, but you're still close enough to home where you can drive home if you want to. We also have an airport that's about 10 or 15 minutes from campus, so easy to get back and forth from home if you want. We're also about 2 hours from Asheville, North Carolina, about 3 hours from Nashville, Tennessee, about 3.5 from Atlanta, and about 4 from Charlotte. So lots of fun places you can go on the weekends if you want to take a quick road trip away from campus. Next, just a little bit about the university. We do have about 24,000 undergraduate students. I think it's a great size because we have all the perks of a big school, big Division I athletics. We are a Tier 1 research institution, but it can still feel pretty small. Our student to faculty ratio is 17:1, and our average class size is about 30. Another perk of a larger institution is that we have over 360 different programs of study. So we probably have something that you want to major in or something that interests you. We do have 10 different academic colleges. First is our College of Agriculture. We are home to one of 30 accredited vet schools in the United States. We also have our College of Architecture and Design, which is home to our majors in architecture, interior architecture, and graphic design. Our College of Arts and Sciences is our largest college. There are tons of different majors. We have a School of Music in there. So lots of different good pre-med, pre-law, pre-professional programs that can prepare you for graduate school. Our Haslam College of Business offers a wide range of business majors. We also have our College of Communication and Information, our College of Education, Health, and Human Sciences, our Tickle College of Engineering, our College of Nursing, which is a direct admit nursing program, and then our College of Social Work, which is our smallest college on campus. Something that's interesting to many of my students from Virginia is the Academic Common Market. If you're not familiar with this program, it is a program that gives you in-state tuition if you study a major that's not offered in Virginia. By far the most popular major for my students is supply chain management. It is one of the top 3 programs in the nation. It's our most popular major on campus. And fun fact is that the new CEO of Amazon actually a grad of our supply chain management program. So if you're interested in a business program, definitely check out supply chain management. We typically have a 100% job placement rate in that program. And I think we've all learned over the past year or two the importance of the supply chain and what a huge need there is for careers in the supply chain industry. Other majors that qualify for in-state tuition are nuclear engineering, linguistics, interior architecture, our concentration in disasters, displacement, and human rights in our anthropology program, educational interpreting, Portuguese, and sacred music. So we do not limit the number of students that participate in this program, and you can start getting in-state tuition beginning your freshman year. So this is a great opportunity to go out of state for a greatly discounted rate for out-of-state students. Next, just want to talk about campus life a little bit. I absolutely love our campus. Our students are so active and engaged on campus. You walk around campus and literally everybody is wearing orange. So we have a ton of school spirit. Our students tend to be very happy. We have close to a 90% retention rate. So it's always a good sign when students return after their freshman year. So I just want to hit on a few highlights of campus life and kind of cover some things that students usually ask me questions about. First, you are required to live on campus your freshman year. We do have 14 different residence halls and a variety of different styles. We also offer learning communities. That's where you live with students that you share a common interest with. Typically, it's going to be around your major. So a great way to make a larger campus feel smaller because you can live with the people that you go to class with. You can study together and kind of have a built-in friend group in your residence hall. Other things about living on campus, you do get free laundry. You're also required to have a meal plan so you can go in and out of the dining halls as often as you want. We actually just opened a brand new dining hall this year, which we're really excited about. And as I mentioned previously, there's over 90 restaurants within walking distance of campus. So you definitely won't go hungry if you come to college in Knoxville. Another big thing for students is that you can bring a car your freshman year. So if you want to drive back and forth to home, you can bring a car if you would like. We offer over 600 different clubs and organizations on campus, so tons of things that you can get involved in, everything from the Chillin' and Grillin' Club to the Oreo Tasting Club. And if there's something that you're interested in that we don't have, you can always start your own club or organization. In addition to Division I sports, we also offer over 40 different club sports as well as intramural sports. So if you're an athlete and you want to continue to be an athlete, our club sports still compete against other colleges and universities, so it can be a great way to stay involved in your sport. Also, about 25% of our students are involved in Greek life. So if you're interested in being in a sorority or fraternity, there's great options for that on our campus. We do have kind of your traditional Greek village. So if that's something you want to do, definitely encourage you to get involved in Greek life on our campus. Next, at the University of Tennessee, we are very committed to your success and we want to see our students be successful and graduate. So something that we started last year that we're really excited about is our Vol Success Teams. That is a team that is assigned to you starting your freshman year, and they follow you all 4 years so that you always have a familiar face if there's somebody that you need to go to ask questions about. It consists of your academic advisor, an academic coach, as well as a one-stop counselor. Your academic advisor is going to help you pick classes, make sure you're staying on track for graduation. Then your academic coach is kind of your link to the Academic Success Center. They offer all kinds of wonderful resources like tutoring, supplemental instruction, and they'll also help you with things like time management and goal setting. I think a lot of times on larger campuses, there's lots of resources available, but often students don't know how to get in touch with them. So your academic coach is a great resource to help you if you need any support academically. And then last is your one-stop counselor. They're kind of there to help you with more logistical things like billing, financial aid, scholarships, and things along those lines. So if you need help at any point during your career at UT, you do have your Vol Success team that is there to support you all 4 years. Next, we do have great study abroad options. Prior to COVID, we had students in over 50 different countries. So if there's somewhere that you want to go, you can definitely go at the University of Tennessee. A lot of our departments offer specialized programs, and we often also have study abroad fairs where you can get information on things like Semester at Sea and other programs that involve lots of different universities. So definitely great options to study abroad at the University of Tennessee. Next, I just want to take a few minutes to talk about some of our traditions. If you're looking for a big Southern school with lots of school spirit and lots of cool traditions, definitely check out the University of Tennessee. The first thing maybe isn't so much a tradition, but Smokey is our mascot. I think Smokey is the cutest mascot in all of college. He is very beloved on our campus. We actually have 10 statues of him all around campus. So if you come visit, definitely look for the Smokey statues and take a selfie with Smokey. Next is our Vol Navy. I mentioned earlier before, I know at least one person hopped on, but we are one of the only places in the country where you can sailgate instead of tailgate. So our Vol Navy is a group that brings their boats to campus and tailgates on the water before the games. And then next, kind of sticking with fun game day traditions, Vol Walk happens before every game. That's where our football team, our band, our cheerleaders parade through campus and our fans line the streets, and it's kind of a welcome into the stadium for our football team. So lots of really cool game day traditions. even if you don't like football that much, it's still fun just to be a part of the atmosphere and kind of soak in all of the school spirit and excitement of SEC football. Next, we have our torchbearer statue. Our torchbearer is kind of our academic mascot. We are the only school in the nation that are volunteers. And so that is something that we take very seriously. We definitely want to serve others, and we have a wonderful Center for Leadership and Service that can help you get involved, not just on campus, but also in the greater Knoxville community. And then kind of taking from our torchbearer, we have a torch night celebration every year. That happens for freshmen. Everybody gets together in our basketball arena. You get a little LED torch and everybody lights them together as kind of a symbolic welcome into the volunteer family. So even though we are a larger institution, we do talk a lot about the volunteer family, the Big Orange family, and kind of what it means to be a part of that. And not just as a student, something that we say at the University of Tennessee is that you're evolved for life. And so that volunteer family will follow you all the way from the time that you're a student to when you're an alum. We have a wonderful alumni network of over 250,000 alums. So that can be helpful when you're looking for internships or jobs or things like that. Or even just if you decide to come back home after you graduate. We actually have a very, very active alumni club in our Richmond area. They get together to watch games and just have different events where they can network with other Vols for Life. So you definitely get that great alumni network as part of the deal when you come to the University of Tennessee. So I know that was a lot of information, but any questions about campus life, majors, anything that we offer? I'm happy to answer any of those questions before we start talking about how to apply to the university. Wait, I do see a chat up here. Oh, feel free to put questions in the chat. All right. If we don't have any questions or you think of them later, please feel free to put those in the chat or speak up, and I'm happy to answer those questions for you. But next, I'm just going to talk a little bit about applying to the University of Tennessee. Excuse me. First, we'll talk about the things that are required as part of your application. We do take both the Common App as well as our own application. We don't have a preference on which one you submit. Whichever one is easier for you works for us. The next thing that's a little bit different about our process is that we do require the self-reported academic record. You need to complete this within 2 weeks of submitting your application. If you're not familiar with the self-reported academic record, this is basically where you go online and you're going to enter all of your own grades. We do not require an official transcript as part of our process, but we do ask that you upload an unofficial copy of your transcript. The SRAR is kind of like the Common App in concept, in that you can fill it out once and send it to multiple schools. So if you're applying to schools like Virginia Tech, Clemson, Delaware, Pitt, Penn State, LSU, all of those schools are going to be on this. And so you only have to fill it out one time and then just send it to the schools that you are applying to. Again, we do ask that you can do this within 2 weeks after submitting your application to the university. Additionally, we do require one essay. That's going to be the Common App essay. And if you're applying test optional, there is an additional essay that you have to complete. We are test optional this year, and we are doing a 5-year pilot. So we will be test optional for the next 5 years. I know this has been confusing for a lot of students and whether or not they want to submit their scores. But at the University of Tennessee, we are fully test optional for both admissions and for scholarships. Last year, our acceptance rate was almost identical for students that submitted scores and students that didn't. So please don't feel like you have to submit your scores if you don't feel like they're good or that they're reflective of your academic abilities. You'll be fully considered, again, for both admissions and scholarships without test scores. One thing to keep in mind is that we do allow you to apply test optional and then submit scores later, but you cannot apply with scores until she wants to use them and then change to test optional. So definitely think through that decision before you make it, but know that you do have a little bit more flexibility if you initially apply test optional. So say, for example, you're taking the SAT or ACT in October and you want to apply by our early action deadline of November 1st, you can always apply test optional and then submit scores later. We also allow you to self-report your scores, so you do not have to have your scores sent from the SAT or the ACT. But if you have any questions about test optional, please feel free to reach out and let me know. As far as things that are optional as part of our process, recommendation letters are optional, as well as a supporting statement. The supporting statement is essentially just a blank space for you to tell us anything you think we need to know that isn't anywhere else in your application. If you've had any extenuating circumstances or any learning differences, or maybe there's just something really awesome that you've done that you want to tell us about, you can utilize that space to give us any additional information. If you don't have anything to say, it's perfectly okay. You can leave that blank. It will not go against you. We just want to give you the opportunity to have kind of a free place to tell us anything that you think we should know. Next, one thing to keep in mind as we talk about GPA through both admissions and scholarships is that we do recalculate your GPA. So what that means is we're going to take these 16 core courses and add a half a point for honors and a point for AP, IB, or dual enrollment credits, which by the way, we do accept. And then another thing to kind of keep in mind is that we're only going to take your best grades. So these courses here are not requirements, they are recommendations. So say, for example, you have 3 years of foreign language and you got 2 A's and a B. We're only going to take those 2 A's and your B is going to drop off. So the transcript or the GPA that's on your transcript is going to be very different from the GPA that we use for both admissions and scholarships. Sometimes it's a little higher, sometimes it's a little lower, sometimes it's about the same, but just know when we're talking about GPA that we're talking about it in the context of our recalculated core GPA. As far as the important dates for the University of Tennessee, we do have a November 1 early action deadline. If you are interested in either competitive scholarships or our honors and scholars programs, you do need to apply by November the 1st. Keep in mind that if you apply early and you're not admissible at the time that you apply, we will typically defer you to our regular admissions pool. So there's no harm in applying early. Basically, it just means you're going to get your decision a little bit earlier. We do have a regular admission deadline of December the 15th. So please try to get your applications to us by December the 15th at the latest. If you apply early, you'll find out in mid-December. Students who apply regular decision will find out in mid-February. As I mentioned, if you apply by November 1st, you're able to apply for competitive scholarships as well as our honors and scholars programs. Competitive scholarships, you'll just indicate on your application for admission that you want to be considered. And then there is an additional essay that you'll have to complete. Always tell students you don't want to leave money on the table. So I definitely recommend that you apply by November 1st if for no other reason than you want to be considered for competitive scholarships. This application will consider you for pretty much all the scholarships that are out there. So you want to make sure that you complete this if you can. Next, we do have 4 different honors and scholars programs. They're all unique in their own ways. If you apply to the university and you meet the minimum requirements for our honors and scholars programs, then you will be emailed an application so that you can apply by you can apply for these. But just remember, you need to apply by November 1st. So if you don't remember anything else from today, try to remember that applying to UT by November 1st is going to be your best bet. For students that apply by December 15th, you will be automatically considered for merit scholarships. So we do have 2 different kinds of scholarships, both competitive scholarships and merit scholarships. This year, if you have at least a 3.6 GPA and either a 24 or an 1160, you're guaranteed to get at least $4,000 a year. There are varying ranges based on your GPA and test scores. All of this information is available online. So if you want to kind of take a look at this, kind of decide whether or not you want to submit scores, this is all readily available on our website. If you apply test optional, we also have our Beacon Scholarship. You will be put into a pool for review for a Beacon Scholarship if you have at least a 3.8 GPA. So my advice to students is if you have at least a 3.8 GPA, but your test scores are below a 24 or an 1160, it's probably best to apply test optional because you are able to get scholarship money that way. Whereas if you submit scores that are lower than our minimum requirement, you're automatically kind of taking yourself out of consideration for scholarship. So again, utilize our scholarship grid when trying to make a decision about whether or not you want to include test scores as part of our process. But same thing with test score scholarships. They range in value from $4,000 to $18,000. With at least a 3.8 GPA, you will be reviewed for our Beacon Scholarship. Last but not least, we are doing campus tours, so we would love to have you on campus. We also are doing an open house on October 30th, so that's a great opportunity to come explore the University of Tennessee. We also have a ton of different virtual options if you want to do a virtual campus tour. There are information sessions for both admissions and some of our departments if you want to learn more about the major you're interested in studying. We also offer a live student panel. So if you want to talk with students and connect with them, please check out our visit website. And there are a lot of great resources there so that you can learn more about UT. If you decide you do want to come visit, please let me know. I'm happy to give you recommendations on things to do in Knoxville, good restaurants and things along those lines. So here's my contact information. Like I said earlier, I am the regional admissions representative for the University of Tennessee. So I am more than happy to help you if you have any questions or need anything throughout the application process. I'm always a resource if you need anything at all. So I know that was a lot of information, but if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer those now. What kinds of engineering do we offer? It's probably easier to ask you what you're looking for because we literally have everything almost. We have nuclear, bioengineering, biosystems engineering, civil engineering, mechanical, chemical, computer. Yeah, we pretty much have all of them. If there's one in particular you're looking for, let me know and I'm happy to tell you, but we do have almost every area of engineering that you might want. And if you remember back to the academic common market slide, if you're interested in nuclear engineering, that does give Virginia residents in-state tuition. Another kind of fun fact is we are located right down the road from Oak Ridge National Laboratory, which is the largest Department of Energy research facility in the country. So there are tons of great research opportunities there, as well as internships and co-ops. So we are a tier 1 research institution, so there's lots of great opportunities for students to do research, especially in the engineering and sciences. We do have both computer and mechanical engineering. Mechanical is going to be our most popular engineering major on campus. One thing I will point out is that engineering is going to be a little bit more competitive than some of our other majors. And so when deciding whether or not to apply with test scores or not, I'm going to put a link in here that will tell you what the application requirements are for certain programs, especially for engineering. Take a look at this before you decide whether or not to submit your scores. Our other more competitive majors in addition to engineering are going to be architecture, interior architecture, nursing, our School of Music, and then our direct admit pre-pharmacy. Tennessee does require engineering majors to take general first year classes, kind of like Virginia Tech. I think that's probably fairly common. We also have an engineering exploratory major. So if you're not sure which area of engineering you want to do, you can start in that exploratory track and kind of take those general classes and then declare your specific area of study later. So you can kind of come in engineering undeclared if you don't know what you want to do, but you can also start directly in your desired area as well. It's great we have so many engineering questions. I will also, let me see if I can find the link. We actually have a session coming up later this week for out-of-state students that are women that are interested in engineering. Actually, it's tonight. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's tomorrow night. Let me see. Here is a link to that program if you want to learn more about engineering. And if you want to sign up to attend that program, here is a link for that. So yeah, that's for women in engineering specifically. It's a virtual information session just for out-of-state students. So it is tomorrow night from 7 to 8 if you're interested in attending that.
Wonderful. And I'll make sure I send that out to all the students who are watching as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just happened to get that email this morning. So glad that I saw that and that you're interested in engineering.
Any other questions? These were wonderful questions from our students who are on. Thank you for attending.
I will also drop my email in the chat here if y'all have any other questions or think of anything. And then I think we had at least one student come in later. So if you want to go to this link, that's where you can sign up to get more information about the University of Tennessee, but also get credit for attending today. For some reason, it is trying to copy it from before, and it's not wanting to work. I don't know why it's not working. It's still wanting to give me that engineering link. I don't know why that's happening, but let's see, I can try that again. Here we go. I'll copy and paste it from somewhere else. There we go. So definitely go there if you want to join our mailing list and get more information. And then my email is right above. It's awolk1@utk.edu if you have any additional questions.
And thank you so much. We really appreciate it. This has been wonderful information. And students, make sure you reach out to Ms. Wolk for any questions that you have. She's a great resource for us here. So take advantage of that information. Thank you, guys.
And I do see one more question about what opportunities are there to learn abroad. Pretty much anything you want to do. Last year we had students studying abroad, or well, prior to COVID, sorry. We had students studying abroad in over 50 different countries. A lot of our departments have specific study abroad opportunities, and then we also have a study abroad fair every year. So if there's somewhere you want to go, typically we can make it happen for you at UT.
Wonderful. All right. Well, everyone have a great day. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you joining us, Ms. Wolk. This is wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.